Hi everybody, welcome back to Sheri Approved. So I'm here with a different type of video today. I posted a photo on my page on Instagram and Facebook because I've been thinking about how to give you guys some very simple tutorials, because I know a lot of people who follow my page, they'll probably like makeup but they really don't know where to start, or they're looking for ways that they can do it a little bit more easily. And I really like shortcut. I love makeup and all of that, but when it comes to doing my makeup every day to go to work, I need to do it very, very quickly. So there's a certain type of look that I go to sometimes when I have a limited amount of time. So I'm going to split this into two. I'm going to do my base, which will be foundation and powder and so on, and then I'm going to do a very simple eye look, and I'm going to teach a particular technique that you could incorporate and do different eye looks using that same technique. So let's start. So we're going to do our foundation, and I've already washed my face. I have all my skincare on, including my SPF, and so therefore usually I don't do my foundation first. I will usually do my eye makeup first, because foundation and concealer allows me to be able to clean up any mess. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to do my foundation routine first so that you can see, even if you don't want to do any eyeshadow, this is your base and this can work. You can just put on some mascara and you're good to go. So the first thing you want to do is choose a primer. I have oily skin, I've said that many times, so therefore I would usually choose primers that will probably be a little bit mattifying, or primers that will smooth pores, because I do have some areas, you know, where there are enlarged pores. Choose a primer that is suitable for your skin. I always say that. The one that I'm going to use today is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock. I don't think this primer is available in Trinidad. It's one that came out a couple months ago, and it's okay. I'm trying to use it out. I don't think I'll repurchase. It's just fine, but it's a good enough primer. So I took this amount out and I'm just going to spread this on my face. And this is a primer that I can actually rub in as though it's like a face cream. There are some primers that you actually need to pat, okay? But this one I can actually rub it in. It's very easy to blend into the skin, and my skin feels really smooth. This one is smoothing as well. It doesn't feel very mattifying, but you know, they advertise it to be that, but skin feels very smooth. So once I have the primer on, the next step will be foundation. For this video I chose foundation that, you know, is a go-to. I'm on whatever number of tubes or bottles of these, and I always use it, and that's Revlon Colorstay and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I could put this on when I apply my makeup at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I could be at an event at 9 o'clock at night, and this is going to remain in place. Now you will see that I have both, and why I'm having both, because I love to mix these two, because neither of them is my exact shade. So I am mixing Toast 317 Revlon Colorstay with 109 in the L'Oreal Infallible. I'll mix them on my hand, and then I'm going to apply them with a beauty blender. Now I usually can apply foundation with a beauty blender or a brush. For this particular combo I like using the beauty blender, so let's do that. I'm going to take a little bit of the foundation and just pass it over my eyes as well, because it will also form a base and even out skin tone there. Whatever excess I have, I take it on the beauty blender, and I'm just taking it down my neck. Now notice that I didn't spend too much time doing my under eyes, because I'm going to go in with concealer. If you don't want to go in with concealer, then obviously you will put a little bit more foundation there to help, you know, just even out the entire skin tone so that your whole face doesn't look one color, and then your under eyes, probably because, you know, we don't get enough sleep and stress and different things that cause the dark under eye circles. So yeah, if you're not going to use concealer, you will take your foundation there, but I'm not focusing too much there because I'm going to go in with concealer. And just like that, my foundation is on. I'm going to set my foundation. People who have probably drier skins and so on can get away without doing it, but I need to set my foundation. So the next step will be concealer. I'm going to use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. The shade that I use is Golden. You can see where I am at with this concealer. And the trick with this particular concealer is when you apply it to leave it for a couple seconds on. So I'll apply and then we'll see. Now notice the shape that I'm using under my eye. You can actually also bring this down a little bit more. But remember, we're looking for something very quick in the morning. We're not looking to do too much of a highlight routine. I'm putting on the concealer to give myself a little bit of highlight because it's going to add some dimension to my skin. And I take it down the bridge of my nose. I'm not going to put any down my chin. I usually find that I have enough excess product on the sponge to take it there. So I'm going to just leave this for a few seconds. And this particular concealer, I can do that with. If you're using, for example, the ColourPop concealer, you can't do that with that concealer. You need to go in and start to blend right away because it's more matte than this one, and it really starts to lock in immediately. I find that I like the finish of this when I leave it for a few seconds and I allow it to just sit on my skin, you know, for as much as time as I just spoke. So same tool that I use to do my foundation, I'm also going to take this to blend out my concealer, and I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. One, because it's easier to just, you know, use one thing rather than going between different brushes for me in the morning. And number two, that excess foundation is also going to help me blend in my concealer, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So I'm going to take this side of the sponge and I'm going to be patting in the concealer, but you're going to also see that I'm going to take that concealer and I'm going to bring it down the sides of my nose because it provides almost a natural highlight contour without actually doing a whole bunch of contour, because again, we're doing it in the morning, we want to do it really, really fast. So I'm going to blend in my concealer now. Yeah, I know this looks kind of a little crazy. And now I take this part of the sponge and I'm blending in that concealer so there's no harsh line. Foundation is on and now we're going to set it. Okay, so you can actually take one whole face powder, your skin tone, and set everything. I like that little bit of highlight under my eye, so I'm going to go in with this Rimmel Stay Matte pressed powder, and the same damp side of the beauty blender that has concealer on it, I'm taking the powder with that because I find that also helps the powder set a little bit better. So I'm using that and I'm setting my under eyes before I do my entire face. And notice that I took the concealer above my eyes as well. Concealer set, and now I'm going to set my entire face. And you guys already know how much I love the BH Studio Pro powders. That's this one, and I use the shade 235. I'm using this big fluffy brush. This powder actually also gives me a lot of give me some coverage. You will notice that you could probably still see some of my blemishes through, and I'm fine with that. I'm not necessarily looking for full coverage on the daily. I just want to give my skin some, you know, evenness, right? So swirling my brush into my powder, and I'm not packing on a whole set. Everything is nice and set. Now, right at this moment, if you want, all you could do is just put on some mascara, some eyeliner if you wish, do your brows, some lip gloss, and that's it, because you have a good enough base. But if you want to take it a little step further, on a daily, I'm not necessarily going to contour, but I do like to add a little bit of bronzer. So the same way I have a little bit of highlight under my eyes and so on, I just want to warm up the circumference of my face so that it looks, you know, like it has some dimension. So one of the products that I love to use is this one from Sephora. It's their bronzing disc. And this one, you can see it has some matte, some shimmer inside it. But what you do basically is I just swirl my brush into it. And because it has that peachy tone, I could actually skip blush if I use this product. Now, the thing with bronzing, you want to take it around the perimeter of your face and right in the area where you may have contoured, but it doesn't have to be so much of a defined line because you're warming up the skin. There shouldn't be so much of a demarcation the way you would see it, like if you're using a more cool toned contour powder. This one is still pretty warm, so I'll actually start right here, right by my ear area, and I'm bringing it down. And you can see what that's doing. It's giving me a little bit of a flush of color, but still bronzy enough. Seeing a difference? And then, if you want to be a little extra, I have this double chin area. Now, I'm not contouring, but if I could help the situation, I will. So I'm putting a little bit of that bronzer. By the way, you don't need to buy extra product to bronze. You could actually, same face powder that you use, just buy 2 shades darker. I also have the BH powder in the shade 250, and I also use it to bronze as well. So now that I've done this, I actually, with this particular product, I don't need blush. My skin looks like it has a little bit of life. It looks healthy because of the shade of this particular bronzer, which is why I like it for a very quick face. I don't need to use a blush, but if you want to use blush, of course you still can. And finally, to complete this face, and look at this, by the way, you all know my little technique with the pinch brush and do the nose, right? So I'm taking that same thing with no extra product on it. I'm just running it down the sides of my nose and right across here, right? And to complete the face, we want to put a little bit of glow back into the face, into the skin. Again, we want to make the skin look alive. So we already added some dimension with the light highlight, a very little bit of bronzing, and now I'm going to go in with a very everyday highlight. And one of my absolute favorites, which you can get at Wonderful World, is Milani. This is actually a blush, but on our skin tone, it's like a highlight. It's a shimmer blush, but the shade is Luminoso, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm using, this is a BH brush that I'm using from the It's My Riri collection. I actually fell in love with this brush for highlight. I just swirl the brush into the product, and right at the top of the cheekbones. In fact, if you want to know where to place your highlight, take your finger and press right there to find the top of the cheekbones. I have very high cheekbones, right? And don't bring highlight all down here, please. We don't want to see highlights all, yeah, no, we don't want to see it there. Thank you very much. And I keep it in this area here. So I'm actually, look at that. It blends right in. It looks very natural, but it just gave the skin a little bit of oomph. And this particular highlight, you can actually wet your brush as well and take it to a whole next level. And although I am oily, I have been loving just putting the highlight a little bit. And I'm not into that shiny nose business. I just put a little bit there so that when the sun catches my face, when my face catches the light of the sun, you can see it. So what do you guys think? My base is ready, and all I need to do now, if I wanted to take this up to the next level, is do my brows, some mascara, some lips, and that's it. So if you're like me and you just want to go just like this, you just complete your brows, you could probably put on some mascara, lip gloss, and you're out the door. So the base is finished. And if you want to see what I'm going to do with my eyes, a very quick, easy look, then stay tuned to the next video. Bye.